Thank you, Christy. Thank you guys for joining us. I mean, and it was just a fantastic day. We've learned so much. We now have Ron, who's going to lead us in a short vision setting exercise. So if you've had your wheels turning and been thinking today about how you want to cast your vision, how you want to change your vision, kind of what you want to do going into the future, we have a little exercise where you can take a minute to set that intention and to do that here. So Ron, are you ready to lead us in that?
Yes, ma'am, I am. So we're just going to share a few questions as effectively as thought starters as you consider reshaping your why or your J for the future. First one is, what's required to be successful? And I know this is a kind of a basic question, but it's been my experience over the years in businesses that we don't take enough time to really think about what's critical to our secret sauce. I'm not talking about table stakes things like, well, be a nice person, be ethical, don't steal, don't cheat, those kind of things. I'm talking about kind of what is it core competency wise that makes it unique, that is critical, your critical success factors, your critical ingredients for you to achieve what you want to achieve as far as transforming your local community. As an example, I'll share with you how we think about it here at DAXCO. We've boiled down our success to 4 pillars. And the first pillar is hiring, developing, and retaining the best and most dedicated people. We believe everything starts and ends with people, and the real assets of DAXCO have nothing to do with the software, nothing to do with those clever little electrons that are on disks or in the cloud. It's all about our people. The assets go home at night. And so because we think that is our key critical ingredient, then our North Star of our success is hiring, developing, and retaining the best people. The second pillar refers to how we approach our solutioning. And we want to own the end-to-end experience. And what we've found is that as you design technologies, if you don't start in the digital world, if you don't start with understanding web and mobile and all of the touch points of the member and staff and donor and volunteer experiences, then you're going to create a suboptimal solution. And I believe if you look historically at DAXCO, that's kind of where they were. They were kind of myopically focused on member management and missing the complete view of that whole continuum. And so we want to own the end-to-end experience. We think that's the next critical pillar to our success. Third, as we look at our mental approach, we talk about embracing a growth mindset. And a growth mindset, Brittany is going to talk about it tomorrow, our Senior VP of Services. She's going to share a little bit about how we think about growth mindsets, but it's just having a can-do attitude and having a can-do culture, having a how, not a why not, but a how can we make something happen. Lastly, our successful ingredient goes with optimizing customer success with DAXCO operations. So we're very process and standards driven. We have really, really high standards and really, really critical processes to consistently meet those standards. And so we operationalize those and we hold all of ourselves accountable, what we call unavoidable accountability to achieve the mission. So if you look at this for us, our success blueprint is there's a people aspect, there's a solution or services. This is what we do as far as the experience we're trying to deliver. There's a mental or a cultural aspect. And then there's a tactical aspect, which we call DAX Ops, which is our secret sauce of how we run the company and how we share best practices. So we're kind of touching on those 4 things, and that's what we think drives our success. So we would offer you, as you use the rest of today to be intentional about thinking how to change, what do you believe makes your why or your J successful? The next 3 questions take it a step further. One is, what should you keep doing? Honor what you've done, what you're doing well. What is that list? Have a list. What should you keep doing? For us, during COVID, our keep doing was building new solutions. If you look at our budget for research and development and engineering and product planning and marketing, we're spending the same amount we were spending a year ago before COVID. And we have committed to the nonprofit industry to continue to deliver new and impactful solutions. We have not let our foot off the gas at all. Now, that's been really, really painful financially right now, but in the long term, we think this is going to benefit everybody in the ecosystem with all these new solutions we'll be bringing out next year. So we felt very strongly, keep building great and new innovative solutions. Third question, what should I start doing? What's something we should start doing? And one of the things we did is we used a feature set within Zoom called Donuts. And what Donuts do is they randomly select various people throughout the company to have a coffee. And so every other week, I have a coffee with someone randomly out of our 500 folks in our team. And we just have 45 minutes. And it's just, I like to, use it as personal time to get to know them and then ask, what can I do better to be a better CEO and do a better job leading the company? In addition to that, my senior leadership team has committed to doing a coffee, doing those coffees, but also another every other week where we have a coffee with someone else within the leadership organization. And so I'm actually doing about 2 or 3 of these a week. And frankly, I found it to be some of the highlights of my week. Connecting with people I otherwise wouldn't have met or would have meant if we were back where I was traveling from office to office to office. So that's been a really, really big deal on our start, given the COVID environment. So that's a start example. Our fourth question, last question is, what should I stop doing? We heard a lot of great input today from Jim and Steve and John and Jerry. Jorge talked about transforming his communities. And we also talked about some things we had to stop doing, some tough decisions. And I think for Daxco, our stop doing was holding on the perception that we were just a member management system company. That really constrained our creative thinking. We had to break through that. And we had to understand that we're in the service business. We need to build and deliver whatever service you need for you to be successful. And that kind of opens the door up to everything. So that was our stop doing. I think if you take a step back, you look at these 4 questions and you intentionally spend a little bit of time this afternoon based on what you've learned in our overall session and the breakouts, and think about, okay, what are my critical success ingredients? What's really critical for success? What do I need to, what do I need to keep doing? What should I start doing? What's a best practice I learned today? And then what's something maybe I should just stop doing? And we had some real creative ideas across all of these things that I took just notes all over the board, and I'm going to probably institute a few of these here at Daxco. So hopefully you enjoyed the time and got as much out of it as we did. So I'm going to turn it over to Allison. We've got a very, very robust day 2. Very exciting schedule, lots of neat things going on, lots of learnings and collaboration. And Allison, if you want to take everybody through it so they understand what we're going to do tomorrow.
Absolutely. And as we mentioned this morning, we are going to have a packed day tomorrow. So I'm going to pull up my screen, go back to Cadence and share the schedule for tomorrow. So tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Central Time, which again, if you're in Cadence, it auto corrects to your time zone. So if you're in Eastern or Mountain or Pacific, I know we have people joining us from all over, it'll auto adjust to your time zone, but it is 9 a.m. Central. We are going to be kicked off with our senior, as Ron mentioned, our Senior Vice President of Services, Brittany Richards, and our Chief Technology Officer, Bjorn, and I'm not going to try to pronounce his last name, it's Norwegian, but I'll let him pronounce it himself tomorrow. But Bjorn and Britt are both going to lead us through how they motivate their teams, and Britt's going to speak to the growth mindset, and Bjorn's going to really get down into tactical of how to take that growth mindset and really apply it to help your teams get energized and motivated to go out and achieve these big ideas and this vision that you've set for your organization. Right after that, we're going to kick off our rounds of breakout sessions. So we have our first breakout session at 9:30. We have 2 options there. We have the first is enhancing experiences. So looking at ways to foster connections to your mission. So if you are looking at, how can I shape this experience that people have with my mission? How do I do that through digital marketing, through different things like that? How can I make sure that experience and that the materials and the communication I'm putting out there is really connecting people to my mission. So we're going to look at that in our first session option of the day. The second is gaining deeper insights. So you've got to make informed decisions. You need specific data. This is going to really dive into the data that we have with all the work we've done with our insight and impact report. So that is the option B. So you can either enhance experiences or gain deeper insights. Right after that, we will have birds of a feather networking, which if you're asking, what is birds of a feather? We know that, you have so much in common with your peers, and, whether that's the role that you're in or where you serve. So we're going to put people in, much like we had the lunchtime discussion groups, we're going to put people in breakout rooms from Zoom in a similarity, kind of similar role, similar challenge that you guys are facing. And just give you time to collaborate and connect with your peers who are in similar roles to you. So excited for that. Then we have our lunch keynote. I am very excited that John Acuff, the New York Times bestselling author, I know we've heard a lot about the word pivot today. So if Jim is still on the call, I know that was kind of his not so favorite word right now, but we're going beyond the pivot. So we're going beyond that word, and we're going to learn how to really achieve your future and achieve your goals in an uncertain world. So John will share his insights. He has written several different books on getting started and finishing your goals. So he will share kind of everything he has to offer. And if you're familiar with John, the very entertaining way that he always does, it's kind of a mixture of insightful and entertaining. Then we will have our second breakout session options of the day. So option A is grow and retain revenue. So we know that every dollar counts at your organization. We're going to look at some tactical ways to both retain revenue that, is so important right now. You want to keep every dollar you've got in your organization, and then also look at proactively growing revenue. I'm so excited for that. And then our last session, or our last option for that session, is increase efficiency. So looking at different ways that we can minimize administrative work so that you can get back to focusing on your members, and you're not dealing with a lot of the administrative hassle that we know comes with a lot of the, sometimes it's hard to avoid, but we want to make it as seamless and as smooth as possible. And then we have a round of really exciting SOP workshops. So our team is leading one in just all about how to establish SOPs. And the challenge I would give to you guys, we'll put this in the live feed ahead of that session, but think about something that you really want to formulate an SOP around. So our team, Heather, who has just written the book of SOPs, is going to lead us through how to establish an SOP. So if you've got a situation in mind that you're thinking, I really would love to have, a standard procedure built around this that I don't already, come with that in mind, and she's going to workshop you guys through it. And then Christy Swan is going to lead us through a system rundown. So looking at, what are you utilizing? What could you be utilizing better with all the systems that you use? Just really gaining efficiencies, getting the most out of the tools that you've got. And then the last one of the day is training staff. So especially now, we know that that staff are in different places. We obviously are in different places today. So how do you make sure to maximize the training that you're doing and investing in your people, as Ron just mentioned, and developing your people in a world that looks like it does today? So Erin is going to lead us through that session. She's got a lot of great stuff to offer. And then we are going to wrap up day 2. So we have a lot of great sessions. Make sure to check Cadence out, add them to your schedule, and you can hop right into those links straight from there. But that is what we've got on the docket for tomorrow. But we will be back and with you bright and early tomorrow morning. And we are so thankful you joined us today, and excited to go and figure out how to make things happen in day 2 and really dig in a little bit more. But if you have any questions, anything that Christy or I can help, or the team can help you with, please drop us a line. And we will be here for a little bit, but excited to go into day 2 and just really reflecting and have so much to think about from today. So thank you, everyone.
Allison, quick question that was in chat about, what about if folks from Y's and J's would like more people to join us tomorrow? How do they do that?
Absolutely, yeah, you can absolutely go ahead and register. So just use the same, if you still have the link, we can get it posted here, but definitely use that link to get registered, and they will just log into Cadence. Or if you've got someone who is you can send them the Zoom link once you've got it, but definitely try to register because that'll help us just make sure that everyone has access. So we will post the link.
Are you buckled?
Yes.
Okay.
So to that point also, actually the registration link for Eventbrite has closed. So if you looked at it and were confused, that is why. I will get it reopened so that we can submit it that way. But you can also email me at cbrown@daxco.com and get it in, added. But right after we hop off, I'll make sure the Eventbrite is reopened so there isn't any issues. I did want to make one comment. We had some issues with passwords in Zoom because Zoom likes to be much more secure than we had planned for, but I wanted everyone to know the Zoom passwords are posted on the homepage of Cadence. So if you guys have any issues, you can always reference that homepage. I'll make sure to post them in the live feed prior to the event too, so it's a quick reference. But if you have questions, let me know. And then one more thing, if you guys wanted to post the answers to the 3 questions that Ron asked in the live feed, we'd love to see them going into tomorrow. Those are all my updates. I'll turn it back over to Allison.
Thank you, Christy. Yes, we again we will see you guys tomorrow. If you have questions, please let us know. We'll hang out for a minute. But other than that, please enjoy your afternoon, and we will see everyone back here tomorrow.